What will the Saints team be known for this season? What's their identity, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, by the way, before we get started, did you hear Jair Alexander is going to the Baltimore Ravens? So I'm recording this on June 18th. Who knows when it'll go out? There's so much content nonstop. But June 18th when I'm recording this, when Jair Alexander was announced to go to the Ravens. Let's take a look at what I said on June 11th. Now, a little bit of me just kind of wilding out here. I think he's going to Baltimore. Makes perfect sense. He played at Louisville. Lamar Jackson played at Louisville. They're best buds. Alexander can go chase a ring. Why wouldn't you go to Baltimore? I mean, it's kind of amazing, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, who else can do this? Come on. What are we doing here? All right, let's go ahead and get into the video.
What is the Saints' identity in 2025 going to be?
Kind of a 14-part question. So, as far as on the field, we know they're going to try and be a run-first team. They're going to try and win the trenches, which I think they can if Trevor Penning works out at left guard and Banks is as solid as we expect him to. We know what Fuag is. We know what Eric McCoy is. We know what Ruiz is. So if the Saints' strength is their offensive line and Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara, then they're going to try and play like that. They're going to try and dominate the time of possession, run the football, play off play action, protect the quarterbacks, don't do anything crazy. That's how I see it playing out. And that's what they certainly would do on offense. Now, defensively, we haven't seen it yet just because of the offseason. Like, remember, the pads aren't on. It's just 7-on-7, so the defense can only do so much. But defensively, we know what Staley's going to want to do. He's going to want to do this like Fangio, Saban style, these pattern, the pattern matching zone, like that shell. So we have an idea of what it'll be like. We don't know who or what or when until we see it actually on the field, but that's the on-field identity. I want to talk about this philosophically, ladies and gentlemen. I think the Saints, what they'll be known for is the official new chapter of the New Orleans Saints. The first chapter written, truly, since before Sean Payton got here. Because Sean Payton wrote his story, and then after Sean Payton, you still had Pete Carmichael, you still had Dennis Allen. Even when Kubiak came, Dennis Allen is still there. It's still a lot of the same staff. It's still a lot of Sean Payton acolytes. But now, it is truly no one remaining. No inside voices, no holdover players. It is as new can be in the NFL. So this is truly the first fresh breath of air we have had since 2005. That's what I think the identity of this team will be this season. I've said it before. Every time I walk down the street, I go into the French Quarter and I go into a bar, shout out Upper Quarter, shout out Aaron Rose, shout out Absinthe, some of these places I frequent. What's on the wall? Old newspaper clippings, plaques, and it's the same cast of characters, right? You can all see them. You can all name them. It's the same cast of characters. This is the year where we start to find some of those new players who will be on newspaper clippings and on plaques and on pictures and signed autograph. Like I can walk right now. I can go down to Estrella, down on Decatur, and there is a signed picture of Tracy Porter. I can go right now down to Tickler's Piano Bar. Listen, that's not a euphemism, right? I can go down to Tickler's and I can see the same picture of Jimmy Graham or whoever. In a few years, ladies and gentlemen, will it be the class of rookies from this year? Will it be Danny Stutzman? Will it be Tyler Shough? Will it be Spencer Rattler? Will it be Devin Neal? Will it be Quincy Riley? Who will be the next group? Or maybe they're coming in next year. Another swath of draftees. But this kickstarts it. This will be, I think, the same way. I know my answer is going a little bit long here. It's my effing show. This will be exactly like 2016, 2017 that created a whole new identity with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore, everyone that came in during those years.
I mean, I don't think they know because this
I just told
team
you I know.
makeup was forced upon them. They wanted to keep Derek Carr. They wanted to be competitive this year. They obviously kept Demario Davis and Cam Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu and
They all took pay cuts.
they kind of wanted to be stuck in that limbo, and then this rebuild got forced upon them with Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler leading the way for a new coach in Kellen Moore. So I think that should be their identity is, hey, we're slowly but surely building something here.
Yeah, that's what it's been the whole time.
But I can't decide if they're all the way in on that identity. I think either way, though, they're gonna try to succeed through Kellen Moore's offense, offensive line, run game. Don't ask too much from the quarterback, but overall identity, I think it's a weird place, and we're all kind of finding out together.
Okay. Well, who is this? Boris82, AI developer? Okay. Always an ad, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one because I don't know that they're hanging their hat on anything right now. I think the thing they want to hang their hat on is the offensive line, and they don't know if they got 5 hooks or, not. So if they do, okay, fine. Like, there's a lot of stuff to hang hats on. But if not, if you have 3 hooks, if you got 2, it's going to be a little bit dicey. So
took me a second to figure out what the hook thing was. We're talking about hat, like actual hat hooks. By the way, if you have a bunch of hats like I do, there is a sweet hat rack thing on Amazon. It's like $20, and it goes on the other side of your door, and it's got like all these U's. It's like there's no hooks, but it's all these like U's, like little slots you can put your hat in. Mine holds 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, holds like almost 30 hats. So they're awesome. That's what I use. Get one if you're looking to put your hat somewhere.
I think it's very much to be determined. I definitely don't think it's defense. I know what the defense wants its identity to be, and I think they'll probably start moving toward building an identity on that side of the ball. They want to be a team that is making dynamic plays, and the way to do that is to play kind of their pattern match defense. Your back is into the ball. You're able to jump some things. I think that's what they want to be, but I don't know.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard to build that without, because it's such a complex system. You really have to know who you have on your team. Like, you really have to know these guys can do what you're asking them to do, and we're not going to know that until they start playing or until we said preseason or training camp or whatever. So the defense may come along a little bit slower than the offense. I mean, who knows? Like, we might have the guys in the house. I don't know. But it may take a little bit to bring in who Brandon Staley needs to do this.
If they have all the players they need to be the best they can be at that, and have that be, this is what the Saints do. I don't know that we get to the end of the season and say, this is what the Saints do. I think there's a lot of things. I think there's going to be clear direction toward what they want to be, but I don't know if they achieve anything so much so that Chris Collinsworth, if he were to ever watch a Saints game, which he won't be doing.
Yeah, he won't be doing that because we're not in prime time. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth.
But if he watches one,
he might watch one if it shows up on like the 1 hour recap on NFL Network while he's making breakfast.
But I don't know that there's going to be the thing where someone's sitting in the booth and they're like, man, you can't do that against, or the Saints will get you doing that. Like, I don't.
Sidebar, but I know analysts who not only watch every game, but they re-watch every game on like Mondays or Tuesdays. Like, once the week's over, they'll re-watch the entire weekend and grade out everything and come up. A lot of people, I know a lot of, and these are mostly bettors, but like college football bettors who focus on a conference, and they'll re-watch like that conference games. It's amazing the difference between like those analysts and then the, Stephen A. Smith, who's playing solitaire in the middle of the NBA Finals. But Nick's right. There is a big difference between what they want to do and what they are doing, right? So we are going to know what they want to do 4 quarters in. I mean, first game, we're going to know, okay, this is what they want to do. But by week 11, will they actually be the team that everyone knows, like, okay, they're going to try and run the football. Alvin Kamara is going to get the ball, blah, 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 blah. They're going to do this, and this. Like, at the beginning, it's going to be a bunch of theory, and we're going to see if they can put it into action.
I don't know if they're going to have that this year.
I hope that's the case, though. I think that's the best case scenario, is that we even if we don't see it come completely to fruition, we see what they're trying to do, and we see glimmers of hope from it.
For sure. We already know that's going to happen because we already know that Kellen has an identity and a bit. We already that is guaranteed. We already know he has a vision and identity. He's going to try to implement what he wants to do, and we understand that Staley is going to be just as proactively defensively as Kellen is offensively. So I think that's almost a guarantee that we'll know. Like they will be working towards something.
We were talking about Friday that I think our favorite thing about Kellen Moore is we use the word intentional.
Yeah.
That he has plans, that he has ideas, that he has a vision. I want to see a vision from this team. Of course, they're not going to implement it and fully execute it in year one. They don't have enough talent to do that on offense or defense.
Well, that's not true. I mean, they do. Like if some of these players, if everything clicks, and I know if everything clicks, as in Banks is good, everyone's healthy, Penning works out. That's really all that needs to happen for the Saints offensively to look okay, to where if they want to run the football and if they want to dominate the line of scrimmage, they have the horses to do it. Again, if everyone's healthy and Penning, just give me this. Everyone's healthy, Penning works out at left guard, and Banks is what we think he will be. Then we are good and we are set at left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, running back, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Set. Okay. And you can do what you want to do. And this is kind of removing the quarterback situation because we're talking about running the football and dominating the line of scrimmage. But we're not that far away from having the roster to do, theoretically, what we want to do. Now, yeah, obviously, if McCoy gets hurt and Banks is bad and Pennings doesn't work out, yeah, I mean, then you can't, it's a whole different story. But we're right on that razor's edge of having what we need offensively to do that.
But if we see, this is the kind of team they can be, they just need 3 or 4 more pieces and they have time and they're heading in the right direction. I hope that's the identity of this team. That's the team I would want to cover and analyze.
I think the only piece of it they have a chance of accomplishing is the offensive line part. Yeah. There's a chance. There's a chance if Kelvin Banks plays really well and Tali Fuaga plays really well and Trevor Penning plays really well, that the one thing they do is block the run and give their quarterback time to throw. Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the quarterback's making...
Yeah, remove the quarterback. But if I just told you offensive line is good, and I told you it's the 5 that we've seen, Banks, Penning, McCoy, Ruiz, and Fuaga, and I said they're good, that means Alvin Kamara is good because we know Alvin Kamara is good. So that means they can run the football. Like, it's okay, check it out. Check mark. Okay. And that removes the quarterback part of the equation. We don't know if the quarterbacks will be good. We don't even know which quarterback will be starting. But just for the offensive line part, it's not that far away. And it is a domino of offensive line good equals good Kamara because we know how good he is. He almost had 1,000 yards last year. And we had, people who were selling pecans in week 2 playing left guard and center.
All the right reads and all the right decisions and executing all the throws. But there's a chance that we say, hey, look, they can block the hell out of the run and they're going to give him opportunities to take shots down the field. And if you can do that stuff, like maybe that's something that we see a little bit. But I agree with you 100% that I don't think that there's any chance that we see a fully formed, fully realized, cup of orange juice on the table. Like you might be squeezing a little bit, but like you aren't filling up the cup yet this year. And this
is some metaphors. They must be watching my videos. I agree that it is more likely that we do not see the fully realized product, which, yes, it's totally expected. This is a very young situation. This is a brand spanking new coaching staff, a brand spanking new system. This is 2 under-experienced quarterbacks. This is like a very young offensive line. Now, is it impossible? No. We've seen Washington. We've seen Houston. We've seen teams click and take off in year 1. So it's certainly not impossible, but it's not the norm. But I don't think it's as dire. I don't think it's as dire as people make it out to be, because we do, and this is kind of what I was saying a couple of videos ago, where I was talking about you have to factor in the injured players from last year being upgrades this year. Last year, yeah, having Mason Tipton, Bub Means, Dante Pettis, MVS as your starting wide receivers, and Jordan Mims as your starting running back, and Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback, and Connor McGovern as your starting center, and Lucas Patrick or who the hell ever at left guard, and like, yeah, that's not going to work. But now having, instead of all those players I just named, having Eric McCoy and Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Brandon Cooks and like all of a sudden, Calvin Banks and Talise Fuaga and like all of a sudden it's like, well, I mean, most of these guys, we know they're good. Most, like Alvin Kamara, when he is rocking and rolling, is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Give him a good offensive line, it's hard to be a really bad offense with that equation.
That's okay as long as you have a plan for how to get all the pulp out of it.
You've got a lot of good analogies. You said hooks for the hats. How many hooks do they have? They definitely just have like a big, like a boardroom table that they all just throw their stuff on when they walk in the house. There's
the
no
bed. It's the bed.
The
bed. I don't know how they still do it, but yeah, like in the 80s and 90s, like that was it. Like my mom would be like, "Go find Dolly's coat," and it's like you got to dig through 45 of them. It's Erie, Pennsylvania. The coats weigh 15 pounds. Like there were a lot of Trevor Penning coats on that bed, man. Like yeah, they're just like rattlers under here somewhere. Like
do not have to worry about coats in Saints training camp. I'll tell you that much.
Damn, we're back on.
You can hire top-rated freelance experts in a variety of AI services.
82's back. Good Lord.
Yeah, not right away, but yeah, I mean, I think that's best case scenario. Like if they can get that line together a little bit, maybe. And I think there's potential for some defensive identity to come from maybe the safeties. I think you have enough talent there for those guys to make some plays. Tyron's going to make some plays. Reed's going to crash down. I think that gives you a little bit of identity in the back end. Maybe the defense can feed off it. I have big concerns about this defense still, just in general. Like, I think it could come together in some form or fashion, but just without...
A lot of question marks on the defensive side, for sure.
Like, there's just nothing you can see, right? I mean, like, it's hard to leave these things, whereas, like, it's like, okay, I can see that the quarterbacks can throw the ball, and they can make some decisions, they can complete some passes, and the receivers can catch them, and that alleviates that, like, a little bit. I don't think it's, like, real relief. I don't think it's real direction. But just kind of some of that you can see, like the big questions with the defense are in the front seven specifically. With
we will not know until joint practices and preseason, all of that. Like that's when you'll be able to see some of what Nick's talking about on the defensive side of the ball, to where we feel a little bit better about
the pass rush, and that is something that you're getting no answers from this time of year. So huge concerns there. I will say, just walking back from our last Monday show, like we sat here, we said, hey, look, it's more me than you. Secondary needs to make some plays. They did make some plays in this practice or these two practices. So I feel a little bit, it was just, hey, I want to see X and Y, and we saw X and Y out there. So that felt a little bit better after completing. I did the math. 87% of the passes during OTAs, that number dropped in these a little bit. So that was good to see. I still thought the quarterbacks were okay, but the defense definitely played a lot better.
Well, look, and let's remember what they did this offseason. They immediately trade for Devon Godchaux. Their big free agent signing was Justin Reed. Two of their first draft picks, or maybe their two first defensive draft picks, were another interior defensive lineman and another safety. So how that works is, are they stopping the run on first down? Are they forcing teams into actual third and long situations? And then they're passing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is, we will find out. Like I can sit here and say, oh, Broughton will be great. Sanker will be great. Riley will be great. Stutzman will be great. We have no idea. We haven't even seen it. And it's just completely, who knows? So yeah, all that stuff, right now, like it's best guess, but we will know at some point pretty quick.
Pass rush, like all kinds of things we're never going to see until we get into real game situations.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this team is boring and methodical. I hope they run the ball and stop the run, because that's something this team hasn't done while it's fallen apart.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully, like, there's a young guy in the mix on that run game, because, like, man, they need an answer there too behind Alvin at some point. Although you can, that's addressable. But it would feel good if Devin Neal was part of that or something like that. If you want to know everything that happened at these practices, you want the breakdown of all the passes, how many they completed, who caught the passes, who had the most catches, who had the least amount of catches, breakdown of all the targets to every receiver, all of it. That's on NewOrleans.football. Use the code NOF, save 20% on your
NOF, 20%, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty substantial savings. This is certainly the time of the year to get it. So make sure you go over there and support the boys. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I feel like I've been watching a lot of baseball, so I'm doing a lot of baseball references here, but I feel like we're almost like the Red Sox or something, where you're looking at that lineup and you've got, Roman Anthony and Myers and Christian Campbell, and you got these young stars, and you're like, all right, I mean, we're not, it's probably not going to come to fruition right away. They got to get through their growing pains, but you see, like, okay, but I see what we're doing here. Like, I see we're trying to build these guys. Like, yeah, they're going to take their lumps. Yeah, they're struggling, but it's exciting in a certain way. Like the Royals are horrific, and Jack Caglione has been horrible. Like, he's been terrible, but it's still fun to watch him play. He's a young potential face of the franchise, potential superstar. Same with us. Like, same with the Saints, where you got to embrace the journey. I'm telling y'all, you have to embrace the journey. You have to embrace, and maybe it's I grew up playing so much Madden and all those career modes where, to me, it really wasn't fun. The years, I don't remember going undefeated and winning the Super Bowl and whatever. I remember the years where it's like, damn, I'm 2-6. I got to trade this aging quarterback for this rookie, and now I got to develop him, and we're going to take our lumps. But then if we can do this and trade this in the draft, like, that's where we're at. The chessboard is clear. We have all of our pieces over here. They have all their pieces over there, and we're just starting the match. Like, we're just starting that chess match. We're about to move the first piece. And we saw what that was like with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and how that, that era played out. And I'm not saying this era will play out the same, but it's still something new, and it's still exciting. And, it's the same. Like, I feel good. I feel it's a fun time to be a Saints fan. I cannot wait. I just gave myself goosebumps. I cannot wait until the season gets here. I cannot wait to start watching the games. And a lot of the fans that I've talked to feel the same way, where it's just like, yeah, I'm excited for something new. I'm excited to watch these games, watch these players. I'm excited to see Danny Stutzman. I'm excited to see, Devin Neal. I'm excited to see Alvin Kamara and Kellen Moore cook, and whichever quarterback it is, and Chris Olave, hopefully he's healthy. And I want to see how they utilize Juwan Johnson. And yeah, I can't wait. All right, get on down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.